Good morning. We'll call to order the May 20th, 2014 meeting of the Indian River County Board of County Commissioners. We'd like to ask Commissioner Wesley Davis to lead us in the invocation, followed by the, I hope, Commissioner, you can still lead the Pledge of Allegiance here, Commissioner Zork.
I think I can manage. Thank you, sir.
Okay, very good. Would everyone please rise?
Our Heavenly Father, we thank you for the opportunity that we have to come before you today and conduct the public's business. May we use your guidance, your knowledge, and your wisdom in the decisions that we make to help make this community a better community, not just today, but for generations to come. In your heavenly name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Please face the flag.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Gentlemen, under additions and deletions, we have two additions to the agenda. We have a consent agenda item 8I, which is a Florida Power and Light easement to service some modulars at the Gifford Youth Activity Center. And then we have an item from Commissioner Davis, 14B1, just, I guess, an update on the countywide jurisdictional water supply. Under deletions, public speaking, 10B1 has requested to be pulled. And this morning I got a phone call. The recipient of the proclamation, Mr. Chandler, had a family emergency and asked that 5B be tabled till a meeting in June. So we have the two additions and two deletions. Is there any other changes to the agenda?
Move agenda as amended.
I'll second.
We have a motion from Commissioner Slaughter, second from Commissioner Davis. All in favor signify with aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That carries. Thank you. That takes us into presentations and proclamations. First will be a presentation of a proclamation and retirement award honoring Rodney Johnston on his retirement from the Indian River County Board of County Commissioners, Department of Emergency Services Fire Rescue, with 30 years of service. And it'll be my pleasure and honor to present this. Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you doing today?
Very well, and you?
Good. Rodney, let me go ahead and I'll read this, and then we'll be glad to hear a few words from you, okay? This proclamation is honoring Rodney Johnston of his retirement from the Indian River County Board of County Commissioners, Department of Emergency Services, Fire Rescue. Whereas Rodney Johnston retired from the Indian River County Fire Rescue effective June 6, 2014. And whereas Rodney Johnston began his fire rescue career on July 7, 1984 as a firefighter with the South Indian River County Fire District. He became a firefighter EMT on July 22, 1984, an engineer EMT on April 7, 1989, and a lieutenant EMT on August 27, 1993. Rodney received his paramedic license on April 9, 2001, and was promoted to captain on July 16, 2004. And on December 30, 2005, Rodney was promoted to battalion chief, which is a position he held until retirement. Rodney has received numerous letters of appreciation during his career and was also an instructor, which led him to teach 7 in-house paramedic classes. Rodney has been an instrumental part within the Indian River County Firefighters Fair for the past 31 years, and also spent 9 years serving the Big Heart Brigade. And whereas Rodney served this county and the public with distinction and selflessness, during his 30 years of service, he was dedicated, and his work was greatly appreciated by the employer and co-workers alike. Now, therefore, be it proclaimed by the Board of County Commissioners of Indian River County, Florida, that the Board applauds Rodney Johnston's efforts on behalf of the county, and the Board wishes to express their appreciation for the dedicated service he has given to Indian River County for the last 30 years, and be it further proclaimed that the Board of County Commissioners and staff extend heartfelt wishes for success in his future endeavors. Adopted this 20th day of May, 2014. 2014. And then, Rodney, we also have the official one that just does actually certify that you are now hereby presented with this retirement award for outstanding performance and faithful service in New York County Board of County Commissioners for 30 years of service on the 6th day of June, 2014. So, Rodney, thank you for your service, and a few words, please.
Thank you. Good morning. I would like to say thank you to the Board of County Commission, Joe Baird, the taxpayers of Indian River County, and Indian River County Fire Rescue for giving me the opportunity to serve this community for the past 30 years. My career in the fire service has far exceeded any expectations I could have ever wished for. I have and I do work with a great group of individuals, ones who have dedicated a large portion of their lives serving our community. Next, I would like to thank my family, my wife Alex, my children, Amber, Tyler, and Riley, my parents Geneva and Frank, my sister Jan, for their love, support, and compassion they've shown me throughout my career. And lastly, I would like to thank Chief King for his guidance, his support, and his patience, and having an open door policy that has allowed me to visit his office at least 100 times per day for his professional relationship and his personal friendship. Thank you.
Thank you, Rodney.
Thank you. Thank you. It's been a pleasure.
You take care.
Thank you, sir. That's all right.
Rodney, congratulations. You're moving out to a ranch, right?
Yes.
Good. Good luck with that. Great. Enjoy it out there.
And believe it or not, I watched him grow it forward.
Commissioner, thank you. Thank you.
It's been a pleasure.
Thanks, Rodney.
Come on up.
You want to come on up? Hey, Rodney. Rodney, come on up here with us. I'll bring you right up front here. Yeah. You got any family you want in the picture with you?
Yes.
Y'all come on up here on the dais. John, bring them up here. Yeah, we'll get them all up here.
Enough in front of me, you want to sign.
Poor mom's crying. You good?
Right up front. Okay. Maybe a couple of you on the other side.
Come this way, baby. Yeah.
Can we get everybody in?
I'm going to try.
Smile, Leslie.
Got him?
Thank you. Thank you. Actually, from my retirement over here. I think you said them over there. I saw maybe.
John King, I thought moved him over somewhere.
Thank you, John. Thank you, Rodney.
Thank you.
Item B, we have tabled, so take us to item C. It's a presentation of a proclamation honoring the Veterans Memorial Island 50th anniversary. And we have quite a crowd here to receive this. We have Tony Young, Michael Matthews, Curtis Paulson, the First Lady of Vero Beach, Alma Lee Loy, and Ken Dagg. And this will be presented by Commissioner Zork.
Anybody else? Good morning, everyone. I'll read the proclamation, and then you can each take turns sharing a few words if you'd like. Proclamation honoring Veterans Memorial Island 50th anniversary. Whereas in the early 1900s, efforts began to dredge the Indian River, and whereas by the 1930s, the United States Corps of Engineers maintained the channel called the Intercoastal Waterway. And whereas, after World War II, Alex McWilliams Sr., a highly decorated World War I veteran and member of the Florida legislature, successfully persuaded the federal government to realign the Vero Beach Channel to make way for the building of the Merrill P. Barber Bridge and to create a memorial island with the surplus dredge materials. And whereas, on May 5, 1947, the island was purchased by the city of Vero Beach with the intent on making a beautiful memorial to the veterans. And whereas, 17 years later, on May 10, 1964, led by Alex McWilliams, and with the work of hundreds of Indian River County citizens and local community organizations, the Indian River County Memorial Sanctuary was dedicated to veterans with the inscription, "Least We Forget." And whereas on August 19, 2003, a Veterans Memorial Island Sanctuary Advisory Committee was created by the City of Vero Beach Council to assist with the reviewing documentation for proposed memorials to be constructed on the island. And whereas on July 6, 2004, the island's name was formally changed from Memorial Island Park to Veterans Memorial Island Sanctuary. And whereas Veterans Memorial Island Sanctuary is now a quiet haven for reflection on the sacrifices made by men and women who were residents of Indian River County and died in combat while defending our country. Now therefore be it proclaimed by the Board of County Commissioners of Indian River County, Florida, that the Board does hereby honor the Veterans Memorial Island Sanctuary 50th anniversary, duly adopted this 20th day of May 2014, signed by all 5 county commissioners. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning.
Which would like to go first?
I may be the chairman, but I understand who's senior on this committee. I just want to highlight for everybody here that I don't think we'll be around for the next 50th anniversary. One of the things that makes Vero and Indian River County special is the way we honor our veterans. And it's a diamond along the Treasure Coast that is Memorial Island. And on Monday, I put the flyer out for the ceremony, and we have copies to provide you as well for the program. But we are going to have a special ceremony, and in addition, with Memorial Day, we have our First Lady speaking in regards to those that made the island. I'm a young pup, and the people that made that island dedicated their lives for what we see today. And if you don't walk on the island and realize the depth of commitment that's been made by the county, the private citizens, the businesses, and the veterans, I would just ask you to go again. So with that, ma'am.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Board of County Commissioners, I just want to say thank you for the extra efforts that you all put forth to highlight the historic events that happen in Indian River County and Vero Beach. And certainly the 50th anniversary of that special island is one of them. And so thank you. I really appreciate the extra efforts you make. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, John. Good morning. Thank you very much for your kindness with this proclamation. And all I have to say is God bless our men and women, present and past. I'm very thankful to be part of this committee. They're very hard workers. I have family that's in the military, So I really appreciate being on this committee. And again, thank you very much for your proclamation. Thank you.
Well, I don't have much else to add, but it is nice to live in a community that loves its veterans so and loves the island, and I'm also proud and enjoy working on the committee. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yeah, we'd also like to invite anybody that hasn't been on the island, as Tony mentioned, to please come out Monday. We invite each and every one of you to please come out and enjoy. If you haven't been there for a while, I think you're going to see something that you'll really look back and say, hey, we left our mark on Indian River County. So we thank you very much.
Yeah. Thank you.
Colonel.
Yes, yes. Yes, right here. Okay.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Good to see you. Thank you. Nice to see you. Okay, how are you? John Michael? Good to see you.
Thank you very much.
Ken?
Thank you very much. I don't know, maybe they just want to... Tony, they had two for you in case you want to give them our website. Is it both?
Yeah, it's both the same. You guys want to do a picture here in the front?
Yeah, want to come.
John?
That's right. Pull a little rank here.
Those military guys can never stop giving orders.
Don't go too far.
And following right after that, the next presentation will be a proclamation designating May 26, 2014 as Memorial Day. This will be presented by Commissioner Flesher. We have Marty Zickert, Colonel Zickert here, Colonel Coons, Colonel Young, and John O'Connor, the president of the local International Association of Firefighters. Gentlemen, everybody, why don't you come on up to the podium, please?
Vote.
Marty? Yep. And Commissioner Flesher.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and have the opportunity, privilege, and honor of presenting probably one of the most somber and solemnest proclamations that we have the opportunity to present annually. I just wanted to take a moment to remind folks to please come to Memorial Island to see, to honor, to pay homage. There is a price for freedom, and many have paid that price, and the ceremony will clearly recognize the price that has to be paid for our freedom. There are families there. Please recognize the families. There are many folks that did not come home, and those that did come home have deep and rooted scars that may not be obvious. So thank a veteran when you're there, and pay respects to those who sacrificed their lives so that we can enjoy the great freedoms that we have here in America. With that, I'd like to present this proclamation designating May 26, 2014 as Memorial Day. Whereas Memorial Day was first observed on May 30th, 1868, when flowers were placed on the graves of Union and Confederate soldiers at Arlington National Cemetery. And whereas on Memorial Day, we pause collectively for a moment of reverence, reflecting on the heroics of those who answered the call by their country to bear arms and to protect and preserve the ideals of democracy. Whereas Memorial Day is a cherished tradition in our nation, and its observance helps us appreciate our history, our values, and our responsibilities by reminding us that freedom is not free. And whereas the Veterans Council of Indian River County, consisting of about 20 veteran organizations representing over 18,000 veterans residing in the county, is holding Memorial Day ceremonies at Veterans Memorial Island Sanctuary on Monday, May 26, 2014 at 8:50 a.m. at the Veterans Memorial in Riverview Park, Sebastian, at 11 a.m. Now therefore be it proclaimed by the Board of County Commissioners of Indian River County, Florida, that May 26, 2014 be designated as Memorial Day, and the board urges all of the residents to attend Memorial Day ceremonies at Veterans Memorial Island Sanctuary at 8:50 a.m. and Veterans Memorial Riverview Park in Sebastian at 11 a.m. on Monday, May 26, 2014. Duly adopted this 20th day of May 2014, signed by all 5 county commissioners. Gentlemen, thank you for your service.
Thank you, and thank you for your support. It's a great honor to be the president of the Veterans Council. What's even nicer is after the air show, they said, you've got too much to do, and Colonel Sam Coons and Colonel Tony Young are going to be running the ceremony. And I get to sit out there just like a normal person for a change. So, looking good. This is the biggest ceremony we have on the island, by far. Every year it's grown. Last time we estimated we had 2,000 people. It grows, and it shows the support that we have within the community. I'm honored to announce that the fire department, who we've been trying to figure out who really was in the fire department for the last 2 years, has joined the Veterans Council. That is a huge group, because there's 3 organizations that understand what it's like. The fire department, who runs into buildings when everyone else is running out. The sheriff's office and law enforcement, who make stops that I'd never want to do. And the military. We all have the same understanding of how life can be so short. And we thank you for joining us. I know the fire department has a short clip. It's a national clip. I hope we have the capability to show it. And I'd like to introduce John O'Connor, the fire department.
Thank you, sir. John O'Connor, president of the International Association of Firefighters here in Indian River County. It's a true honor to stand up with these fine gentlemen that are in uniform behind me. In honor of them and the people that have served, and for this great nation, we created a 30-second spot that we will have aired Thursday, May 22nd through Monday, May 26th on AMC, FX, the History Channel, and TNT. And we provided a copy for your review. If you would please direct your attention to the monitors.
Very nice, John. Very nice.
Thank you. It is my request that the PSA be aired on the government channel here for Indian River County from May 22nd through the 26th to honor our veterans.
Yeah.
Second.
Okay. Mike, you'll make sure it gets done? We have a motion and a second to add the PSA to the county government channel. All in favor signify with aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That carries 5-0.
I just want to thank you for your time this morning. I look forward to seeing you this Monday, Memorial Day.
Correct. Thank you very much.
With a video like that, you don't want to say anything more, but on Monday with the Memorial Day, the ceremony will begin a little bit differently. If you come early, which is, I would not be later than 8:30, there will be a parade of colors, about 10 sets of colors, along with a fife and a drum corps from the Korean monument into the center circle. At that time, we will have full honors to include a wreath laying, and on the stage, we will have 2 Gold Star families represented from Indian River County. One of them is William Loudermilk. The Loudermilk family lost one Marine in Iwo Jima, and another a soldier in Vietnam, both of his brothers, and he will be on the reviewing stand. In addition, we will have another Gold Star family, and the name went right out of my head. In addition, we will have representatives from all the wars and services. So the day will focus on the men that sacrificed their lives there. And please join us. I think you will be impressed of your county. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Colonel.
Thank you.
Yes. Well, Colonel. Another picture? It's got a series of them.
Guys, take 2 steps to your right.
Colonel, 2 steps. Need Eric to come to all the meetings. Quick.
That concludes the presentations and proclamations. Next is the approval of the minutes of the April 15, 2014 meeting.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Davis, second from Commissioner Flesher. All in favor signify with aye.
Aye.
Is there any opposed? That carries unanimously. We have several informational items on there. I would just like to highlight, we do have 2 retirements under there. One is Al Sansone. He's given 26 years of service to the Community Development and Building Department. So we wish Al best wishes for his retirement. And also Dale Justice is retiring from the Emergency Services Fire Rescue with 30 years of service. So a big thank you to Dale for his service and best wishes in his retirement. Gentlemen, that does take us to the consent agenda. We did add item 8I, which is the FP&L easement. And I was just going to have that item pulled just so we could have discussion so the public knows what we're talking about. Anything else on consent?
Move approval as amended.
We have a motion from Commissioner Flesher, second from Commissioner Davis. All in favor? Excuse me. Is there anyone from the public that would like to have a consent agenda item pulled for further discussion? Anyone from the public wishes a consent agenda item pulled? Okay. Seeing none, we do have a motion. All in favor signify with aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That carries. Item I was an easement request with Florida Power and Light to provide service to some modular unit classrooms at the Gifford Youth Activity Center. Mr. Zito, would you is there anything you'd like to add to that? Or?
Sure, thank you, Mr. Chairman. This item came in late on Friday, so we had not an opportunity to conclude it with your backup. But it's an application from the Gifford Youth Activity Center. They made an application for administrative approval to install 3 modular classroom units at Gifford Park and within the existing footprint of the area under lease. And with that comes the necessity of an easement from FP&L to provide power to the units. And that's what's before you today, just the easement to FP&L.
Okay.
Move
Thank
approval.
you.
Second.
We have a motion from Commissioner Solari, second from Commissioner Flesher. Is there any discussion?
Mr. Chairman.
Yeah. Morning, Freddie.
Good morning, Freddie Woolfolk, 4590 57th Avenue. I just rose to say thank you so very much, and Mr. Zito and his office, and Commissioner Flesher, and everybody. The county staff has really been helpful in helping us to go through this maze process. It is a process. Remind me of building a home. You know, you have to go through these details. But what I have with me today, our general contractor, Mr. Robert Paul, with Bill Bryan and Associates. I have my executive director, Ms. Angelia Perry, and I have our director of development, Mr. Nate Bruckner. And we just want to say thank you in a combined effort, because what we are doing there is trying to circumvent too many latchkey kids being home alone, not having any supervision. These 3 units will allow us to service another 75 students. We have 2 modular units on site as it stands now, and we have the Learning Alliance with Ms. Barbara Hammond and others, Mr. Ray, help me out, Mr. Ray Thorpe and others helping us to make sure that we join in with the school district and making sure that 3rd graders are on reading level by 2018. So what we are doing is, and I often say it in jest, but I really want to make sure I hit that point today. Too many of our kids are becoming despondent by not having a good education, can't get a good job, can't have a good way of life. Hopefully with these modular units, as well as other agencies around Indian River County, we can help those kids to enjoy the American dream and not the American nightmare of not being able to have a good life. So I just want to say thank you, County Commissioner Fletcher, for pushing this forward. Tell Laura I appreciate her and getting it on the agenda, and we're going to make you proud. All right, thank you.
Thank you for all you're doing, Freddie. Any further discussion? On motion by Commissioner Slaughter, second by Commissioner Fletcher. All in favor signify with aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That carries unanimously. Commissioner Davis.
Just real quick, with these modifications, I'm assuming we can go ahead and get them on the website portion of the agenda. There's not that agenda item's not on there at this point, nor obviously the ones that we just added today.
Okay.
The backup?
Just make sure that it does get added.
I'm looking at
If it has been already, but we'll double check.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
Thank you, Commissioner Davis. That takes us to public items, a public hearing. It's a public hearing to consider the revenue distribution formula, local option gas tax distribution percentages, memorandum dated May 6, 2014. And good morning, Public Works Director, Mr. Chris Mora.
Thank
Morning,
you,
Chris.
Commissioner and Chairman. Chris Mora, Public Works Director for the county. What you have before you, beginning on page 76 of your packet, is a revenue distribution formula that under the county code we're required to bring to you every 2 years and hold a public hearing. The county imposes a 6 cents additional gas tax. We share that with the 5 cities, and every 2 years we look at the revenue distribution formula and we update it based on 3 things. Number 1 is the population of each governmental entity, the number of lane miles of roads within their jurisdiction, as well as their 5-year transportation expenditures. So it looks at each of those 3 items, a third, and a third, averages the percentages, and then comes up with a distribution formula based on those percentages. We've attached Chapter 209 of the code, which dictates the rules about distribution formula. We've also attached the chart or spreadsheet that we use to do the calculations, the public hearing advertisement, and the sample letter to all of the municipalities. We always send out that letter prior to the public hearing just to make sure that everyone has filed all of the municipalities have filed their local highway finance report with the DOT, which is where we get the transportation expenditures amount from, right off of that sheet. So all of the agencies have responded. We've done the calculations, they're attached, and we're asking for the chairman to open the public hearing, get any public comment, and hopefully approve this new distribution formula.
Thank you, Chris. Questions of staff? Seeing none, this is a public hearing. We'll go ahead and open public hearing. Is there anyone that wishes to speak to the gas tax revenue sharing formula? Anyone from the public wishes to speak? Seeing none, we'll close the public hearing. Gentlemen?
Move approval.
Second.
We have a motion from the wide awake side of the dais from Commissioner Fletcher, second from Commissioner Davis. Is there any other discussion? Seeing none, all in favor signify with aye.
Aye.
Aye. Is there any opposed?
I just want to make sure to get done before 10, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Commissioner.
We're doing our part.
We're diligently working away on that. Public discussion item B1 has been pulled at the request of the speaker. That takes us to public notice items. Mr. Reingold, would you do the honors, please, of reading the public notice?
Good morning, Chair, to the commission, to those in the audience, to those watching at home. There's one public notice item, notice of Gifford Community Meeting. This is the next Gifford Community Meeting for review of the proposed Gifford Neighborhood Plan 2014 has been scheduled for June 12th, 2014 at 6 p.m. in the Gifford Community Center located at 4885 43rd Avenue. And with that, I turn it back over to the chair.
Thank you, Dylan. That takes us through the public items. There apparently are no departmental matters. County attorney has no matters. It takes us to commissioner matters. First is under my matters. Item A1 is the fertilizer compliance. In your backup, our stormwater enforcement employee Alexis Thomas has gone out and I think done a wonderful job. Actually, what stimulated this was I had received an email from a constituent that had seen Alexis give a presentation and just commented what a great job she was doing and really getting out and spreading the word about our fertilizer ordinance. In your backup, you'll see the report Alexis provided where she went to all of the major retail stores and looked at every single bag of fertilizer that was for sale, took a picture of the label, and then you'll see in your backup she calculated the percent of slow-release nitrogen and therefore was able to compile a list of those fertilizer products that will be in compliance with our ordinance and those that are not. In her report, you can see that there's a couple of retailers that are doing fairly well. There's a couple of retailers that probably need a little bit more education and encouragement as far as how they promote the products. One of the examples she found was that one retailer had a pretty good percentage of compliant fertilizers in the store, but they were kind of way in the back part of the store, kind of hidden, and it was the non-compliant ones that were up front and had the the eye-catching displays up front. So one of the things Alexis recommended was that we do need to help encourage the store managers that they need to better promote those products that are compliant. Some of the retailers that still had some non-compliant products told Alexis that they were aware of the ordinance, that they were in the process of ordering material that would be compliant, so that's good to hear. And then Alexis did go back to each of the retailers and gave them a packet of information, kind of summarizing the ordinance and things like that. So I think from the educational point of view, Alexis is doing a great job, and we just need to make sure that we continue that and emphasize to these stores and the retailers that the ordinance is in effect and how to be compliant. With that, I thought from an educational point of view, we do have a link on our homepage that links to the ordinance and whether we want to post this list just to help consumers be able to have an easy one-stop shop where they can look through here and see which products are in compliance might be a good public educational opportunity for us. And with that, I'll open that to any discussion from the board.
Mr. Chairman?
Commissioner Flora?
I'd say almost rather than put the whole thing in there, there's one list that gets a little long, that we put in two pieces. One, the results, which is on page 90, and it has number of compliant products and the total number of sample products. Put that up top, and then the list of actual compliant products underneath it.
Okay.
I think that'd just be simpler for the homeowner. And I think by putting the box up there, I mean, I think it's a little disappointing that Home Depot right now has no compliant products, and that might be enough to try to move them in the right direction.
Okay. Is that a motion? I'll be glad to second that.
That's a motion.
Okay.
Thank you.
So basically to add the results table from page 90 and then just only list those products that are...
The compliant products and where they're sold.
The compliant products, okay. Any discussion on the motion?
Oh, that's great.
Is there any comment from the public? Alexis, this is something you can do, correct? Okay, good. Motion by Commissioner Solari, second by Commissioner O'Brien. All in favor signify with aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That carries. The second part.
Oh, Mr. Chairman, I have one other discussion item under that with the, not on the item that was passed, but with the ordinance going into effect on June 1st, I know right now we're temporarily out of service with the monitoring stations on the 3 canals. I think would be helpful for us to know the conditions before the ban goes into effect, and then maybe do grab samples the first of each month until we get live data back up again.
Yeah.
So we can see historically, so we look at next year, year after, that we can see hopefully a decline of what we're seeing in the phosphate nitrate loading in the lagoon. So I don't know what you'd need to do, direction from us to undertake.
No, actually, we were waiting to see Orca's schedule for getting those units back in the 3 canals, and you're correct, Commissioner Zork, all 3 units have been pulled out, the Kilroys. But it looks like it's going to be some time before we get them reinstalled with the new sensors. So we had anticipated, if this were to happen, that we would be doing grab samples, and we're going to be doing those weekly.
Okay, and weekly starting prior to the June 1st date?
Right, we want to get a couple of base weeks in prior to June 1st. We're going to start those immediately, and hopefully we'll be able to show a pattern once the ordinance, once the blackout period goes into effect.
Right, okay, great, thank you.
Okay. So is that good, Commissioners? I think Chris has the direction. Okay. The second part of that item was brought to my attention that the Indian River Neighborhood Association has gone out and is having a bumper sticker produced. Basically, it's emphasizing the fact coming up June 1st is the blackout period for lawn fertilizers. It says, Save Our Lagoon, no fertilizer June 1st through September 30, and it does have the county logo on it. It's my understanding that these run about 500 stickers for $300 or so, and I understand that IRNA is ordering 500 and didn't know if the board would be interested in purchasing some additional ones to help get the word out. So I'll open that to discussion as well.
Just one suggestion. I know when you're ordering business cards, the first few hundred is the big ticket, and then the price drops. That if you maybe looked at a quantity of 1,000, the price may not be as much greater than the current price listed, potentially.
I'm sure that the IRNA did their due diligence in shopping for the best possible price. I see that Dan is here. Dan, can you give us a little bit more on that?
Yes, the printer we found online is very cheap. I don't know what the quality is. I'm going to get them on Friday, and I'll make sure to let you know if they come out horrible or anything. But for 1,000, it was about $350, and it goes all the way up to quantities of 5,000 when it's about 23 cents a piece. So, I mean, if however many you want, they'll be happy to make them.
Well, that seems like a fair price, and I think this is a great move by the IRNA to support the fertilizer ordinance. We have to do everything we can for awareness. So you're saying it...
What I would recommend, if someone would like to make the motion, that why doesn't the county order, like, say, 2,000 of these, which would be, roughly $600 or $700, contingent upon Dan calling us and saying, yeah, they look good, they should hold up, and then we can go ahead and get the order in for them.
We'll put that on your hands, and I'll be happy to make that motion.
Okay.
And we can put that into the chairman's hands at that point.
Okay.
Take a look at the artwork.
Mr. Chairman?
Commissioner Solari.
I don't know why we're going with this half measure. I really think it ought to be in Save Our Lagoon, no turf ever.
That was a little rocky statement.
You woke up the other side.
Yes, I always regret doing that, too, I have to say.
10 o'clock. No.
And you won't have to carry these bags. It's so much easier with no turf. I'm telling you.
Chandler likes the grass, but he'd like to come throw some of the rocks in your yard.
Yeah, he can.
So, Mr. Chairman, you do have a motion and a second?
Yeah, we have a motion from Commissioner Flesher, second by myself, to order 2,000 of the bumper stickers pending the feedback from Dan about the quality of them. Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor signify with aye.
Aye.
Is there any opposed? That carries unanimously. Thank you, gentlemen. The next item under my matters deals with All Aboard Florida. Apparently, under the process of the environmental impact statement that's being drafted currently by the Federal Railroad Agency, the Federal Railroad Agency does reach out and has what they call cooperating agencies that are kind of their partners in writing the EIS. And they also, if you're a cooperating agency, are entitled to a peek preview of the draft EIS before it's released. Recently, the city of Sebastian hired Frank, I think it's Watanabe, thank you.
But I prefer Frank.
Yes, I prefer Frank too. So that we've established his last name, I'll go with Frank. Apparently Frank has extensive experience with the EIS process from high-speed rail in California. And it was his recommendation that the city of Sebastian should have been a cooperating agency months ago, but recommended they apply for that as soon as possible, which the city of Sebastian has. It's my understanding that the city of Vero Beach is also applying. And what I'm asking today is that the Board of County Commissioners have Indian River County apply as a cooperating agency. This was brought up before the MPO last week, and the MPO unanimously supported a motion to recommend that the board move forward with this. I honestly don't know if we'll get approved in time or not. I'm honestly not sure if it'll have much effect because it's so late in the game, but I don't see any downside in us applying to be a cooperating agency. I think the worst they can do is say no, and if we do get listed, it might give us a little bit more of an inside door. So with that, I'll leave it to the board for direction.
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Motion by Commissioner Flesher, second by Commissioner O'Brien. The motion is to apply as a cooperating agency.
Mr. Chairman?
Commissioner
Question. I see some of the correspondence through Phil Mattson. Do you have anything else to add on likelihood, response window, or anything?
Good morning, Phil.
Good morning, Phil Mattson, Indian River County MPO Director. Excuse my appearance today. It's Bicycle Rodeo Day. Once again, we've done every school in the county, but that's an aside. I understand to be designated a cooperating agency, you have to have either some regulatory oversight or some unique insight into the local conditions. So that was the only condition on it. Some cities have their own laboratories, they have their own technical analysis capability. We have a unique social and historical insight, so maybe that'll qualify us. But I really know nothing more than what the chairman said.
Okay.
That it gives you a little bit of an advance notice, and that's the primary benefit.
And the latest date we heard is still late May, early June on the potential release of the EIS?
Yes, that hasn't changed so far as I know.
Okay.
And again, this might be a little late in the process, but I don't think it doesn't cost us anything. I don't think it can hurt us to apply.
You don't ask, you don't get.
Is there anyone else from the public that wishes to speak to the motion? Okay. Dylan, I'd like to ask if you and Phil could get together on this. I know you're leaving tomorrow or Thursday, but just if you could get with Phil and get a brief letter, cover letter, we can just kind of copy what Sebastian did, I think, and just see where it goes from there.
Absolutely. We'll make sure that letter gets out.
Okay. Thank you. We have a motion, Commissioner Flesher, second by Commissioner O'Brien, to apply for cooperating agency to the FRA. All in favor signify with aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That carries unanimously. Thank you very much, gentlemen.
Oh, look at this.
We now move on. We added an item under Commissioner Davis matters, jurisdictional water supply. Commissioner Davis.
Yes, just real quick, gentlemen. This is as much of information as it is anything else, and just to give you an idea about how fast this is moving forward. The Commissioner of Agriculture Adam Putnam has put together some legislation, or moved forward some legislation that basically, it was a 133-page bill, and I just provided for you in the backup just one page of it, but basically it's empowering the DEP to move forward with more of a surface water management plan. And just as of Friday, as a matter of fact, to kind of dovetail in with that, the South Florida Water Management District had a meeting, and they are in fact going to move forward with a study for a reconnect of the two jurisdictional bodies from the South Florida Water Management District and the St. John's. And then in addition to that, there was also a bill passed by the House and the Senate, and that's the second one, the 2 pages there. And you notice that it says, starts off with a lot of the reclaimed water, store water, and excess surface water, and what we're going to do with it. So just to let you know, this is moving, in my opinion, for government to be moving basically at warp speed. Wow. And also, I'm going to now start pulling together and having some meetings with some individuals that basically I think are going to be the who's who that understand this probably better than anybody. And just to give you an idea of some of those individuals' names and who they would be, I got in touch with Doug Bernique the other day, yesterday, as a matter of fact, and he helped kind of provide a list of individuals that I think would certainly make sense be there, and those do include county staff, both not just utilities, but also public works, because I don't know really where this is all going to wind up, but some stakeholders or some property owners in the area. Hector Herrera from the St. John's, I'm going to have him come down, and then like Bob Ulovich. So this is moving quick, which doesn't surprise me from what I heard at the end of the legislative session. So just for your information.
Okay, thank you, Commissioner Davis. We won't take any action on that. And then the final commissioner matters is Commissioner Tim Zork, an update on the May 15th Florida Municipal Power Agency meeting. And Commissioner Zork, you have about 7 minutes before Commissioner Flory goes off. So
I can see the clock clear from here. I attended last Thursday morning both the Audit and Finance Committee meeting of FMPA and then the general board meeting of FMPA. At the Audit and Finance, they didn't talk anything specifically about the proviso provision. However, they did review a number of security positions that FMPA is holding that may be not up to par in terms of the value that these bonds were secured for to collateralize some debt obligations that they have, and they're going to be looking at the potential loss in value on those, which would be good timing to know what each member's position is worth. At the board meeting, again, not on the agenda, but the Vero Beach sale seems to come up during their agenda unofficially pretty much at every meeting. Their executive director read a portion of the proviso bill, which prompted a heated discussion amongst the membership. They were not thrilled, per se, to know that we were going to be looking, and one of the members specifically asked, well, who would want to know what FMPA is doing, and why should we be audited? And they mentioned that Indian River County and their lobbyist group were the ones who were instrumental in getting the proviso provision in. Promptly, pretty much everybody in the room kind of looked at who in the room was there from Indian River County. So just watching the look on their face was worth being there to see that. At the end of the discussion back and forth, some of the members thought, well, we're already currently audited. Why should we be audited again? And I think part of the members' misunderstanding was that when the proviso was read, it didn't seem to be it was completely read to the members. So I don't know if they distributed the full proviso language to each of the members, because their questions they didn't understand why they were going to be audited for the purposes under the proviso. One thing I may look at asking that we do is after the governor signs off and it stays in the budget, is that we actually mail each of them a copy, since they were not really read the proper reason for the audit, just so that they know, because the way their executive director had read the portion of the proviso, they were kind of wondering why they were being audited. And if they had the whole language, I think they would have a clearer picture. With that, their final discussion was, if we don't be supportive of the audit, it'll look like we're hiding something, so we should be in supportive of the audit. And that was kind of the consensus after it went around the room a few times. But they They were not real happy in general, but they will comply with whatever requests come down.
It'll be interesting then if they follow the direction of the board there and try not to lobby the governor to veto it then.
Right.
If the decision of the board was to support the audit.
Mhm.
And then, Commissioner, is there any truth to the rumor that you were arm wrestling them over the Vero Beach power plant, or?
No, it was, you do feel a little bit under the microscope when they single you out in the room, not by name, but by county that you're from. But just the short explanation of this, since we still have 4 minutes and 38 seconds roughly counting. After the FMPA meeting, good timing on my part, I met Chief John King at Orlando Medical Center, where the firefighter here, Dustin, that was receiving treatment. And Chief King said, hey, if you can hang around, they're going to be releasing him a week early. They're going to be releasing him within the next hour or so. So I stayed at the hospital, went to the hospital, stayed there, watched him get in his car with his wife and his family. After that, between a few stops in the afternoon at a Florida Department of Transportation facility, I slipped and fell. And wish I could blame it on the FMPA, but, or maybe it happened at FMPA property.
Really what happened is as he was leaving, I told him break a leg, and he got it mixed up.
Yeah,
So, he's a rookie.
arm,
though.
leg,
Yeah, he'll get
So,
caught, yeah.
so I'll be looking like this for the next number of weeks, but the outcome of seeing Dustin get released early was really just perfect timing to be there with his family celebrating his early release. They're extremely happy that he was getting to go home.
I bet. Okay. Good job.
And then getting back to the FMPA, we did, as the board directed, from the chairman, we did send a letter to the governor asking him to not veto the proviso. And also, I believe Commissioner Solari sent off a letter as well. So
That's correct.
we have contacted the governor's office on that.
Oh, also, Dylan, do we know the time frame of how long this is going to be sitting out there in question, either how he treats this proviso provision or others?
Dylan, I talked to Joe McCann from Ballard yesterday, and he said he believes the governor will get the budget sometime this week.
Okay.
And then the governor has 15 days from when he receives, officially, formally is presented the budget, he has 15 days to do what he's going to do.
Okay.
So maybe, hopefully, 15 days from this week sometime.
Right, great, super.
Okay. Anything else, gentlemen? Seeing none, we'll stand adjourned.
Thank you.
Get that.